We all have to make decisions that make sense to us. And if we make decisions that make sense to other people, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Now, I realize that sometimes people can end up in a life situation that they didn't expect to end up in, and it works out really well. So, I'm not saying it's impossible to find enjoyment and fulfillment out of things that you never expected. But I think that for people such as myself that have really, really strong strongholds, it's like we're tied to that. We're tied to these things that we think we're supposed to do. You know, it's like if you ask me to lie, if you ask me to deny certain aspects of myself, deny sentiments that I have towards certain things, I wouldn't be able to successfully do that. And the reason why is because, fuck you, first of all. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you again. But it's like we live in a day and age where everybody's like making these bold declarations about who they think they are. And I think it's really important to know that in yourself, but it's like you don't need to prove it to anybody. You don't need anybody else's like confirmation or validation. It's like when I leave the house and I dress in ways that prove that I'm schizo. It's like I know that I look silly, but I don't care because I like my outfit. It's what I wanted to wear. And it doesn't matter if other people think I look stupid. Like I told my psychiatrist, back in the day I had a psychiatrist, believe it or not, I told him like that I wasn't going to take pills anymore and I was just going to smoke pot. And he didn't like that at all. Because I basically told him that, his job was unnecessary. He wasn't helping me at all. I would rather do something illegal. I would rather take my chances and go to jail than take the pills that he was prescribing me. My parents were absolutely horrified when I made it obvious that I didn't care, like, about the consequences. It was like, whatever consequences I experienced, I told them, it's worth it. I would rather experience those consequences than the consequences from doing whatever the world wants me to do. And it's not because I didn't try what the world wanted me to do, And I think that that's super important. Like understanding why you do the things that you do and understanding why those decisions are better than the decisions that other people want you to make. And now, on the one hand, you can make the claim of, well, it's my life. You wanna do the Bon Jovi shit. But Everything affects everything. Keep that in mind. So if you're going to have that attitude, you probably, should make decisions that aren't just good for you, but they're good for other people as well. So it doesn't make sense to do something all because other people want you to do it. But I don't advocate for like a hedonistic, sociopathic mindset of, well, fuck everybody else, I do what I want. That's really not what I'm getting at here. I just think that it's important for people to understand that, like, with every decision they make, it has a consequence. With every decision you make, you're essentially sacrificing something. And it does affect society. So it's like, say you have a kid and you raise that kid and that kid turns out real good, then that positively impacts society. But say you have a kid and you don't raise the kid and the kid turns out a total fuck up. And I know that there are different things that play into like the success or failure of raising a child, but it's like, if you think about how the world would be impacted by your decisions, and like how, it's all a snowball effect. So it's like if you make a decision that negatively impacts your kid, that negatively impacts the rest of the world. Now, there are a lot of people I know that have had an abortion that, weren't happy about that. They want to make it seem like it's such an empowering thing, but it's a pretty fucked up thing to be empowered by, man. But then you have women that swear by it. That are like, that was the best decision I ever made, and I wouldn't have been a good mom anyway, and I feel like we should strive to do better than this. We should strive to not be putting ourselves in these situations. But that starts with sex, though. And people don't want to have that conversation. They want to have like the after the fact conversation, but there's like no point in doing that because the damage has already been done. But I think I've said enough on this subject.